Running 100 miles. Who in their right mind? Is that even possible? What's the point? How much training? What about the damage to my body? Is this even real? Alright, I'm in. I've always loved the stories of the people who are the underdog in life. They're the ones who are counted out. They are often dismissed. Underdogs even fail dozens, if not hundreds of times, and almost always have a seemingly slim chance of success. But when it's all said and done, no one can ignore the effort and resilience that comes through them. These are the people who shake up the universe.
$100-miler, here we come.
Yes, we do.
When I first heard the concept of running 100 miles, I figured certainly it was not all at once. I mean, I can only run 2 miles before I'm tapped out and I'm in decent shape. How could someone do 50 times more than that? Then I came to learn that not only can people do that, they can actually go much further than even 100 miles. I was shocked but curious. Maybe these were the top athletes in the world. Maybe these were people from a lost tribe of runners. Or maybe these were people who trained their entire lives for this one event. Nope. The more I looked, I found that these were ordinary people pulling off extraordinary feats of endurance and willpower. Okay, maybe these weren't ordinary people, but they had ordinary bodies and at least looked like the rest of us. And after all, I am an ordinary person, so certainly I must have a shot at this as well, right?
With it being COVID, we have the wave start, like Clay might have mentioned. So we're going off, Derek and I are going off at 4:33. Clay's going off at 4:36.
Trailing behind them. Yeah, you always want to put the fastest person back, so. None of us, out of the three of us, would have ever thought we would be running 100 miles if you said that 2 months ago. We're not runners per se, but after this race, we're calling ourselves runners for sure.
Big Runners Club.
But basically, like, we're trying to push the limits of what we think is possible for ourselves. Because if we can accomplish 100 miles, going from 0 to 100 in basically 2 months, then what else can we do? So I think we're really all trying to push our limits and see what we're really capable of, because this is going to kickstart a whole new era.
Hey.
Oh, we've been through it all.
What 2 months ago started as a lofty lifelong goal is now staring me right in the face. Today, August 22nd at 4:36 a.m., I am towing the line at the Burning River 100, a 100-mile foot race in Northeast Ohio that travels through several of the region's most scenic areas, including the Cuyahoga Valley National Park and the Summit Metro Parks. It is only now dawning on me that this is going to be a very hilly race. Well, here we go. As I took off on my run, I could not help but think. My first ever marathon was just a month ago. Hell, I've only been running consistently for about 2 months now. 26.2 miles is the furthest I've ever gone, and here I am, having to do 4 of those in one attempt. Is this insane? Talk about daunting.
All right, guys, so I'm the last to start. I gotta go catch up to Nick and Derek. My team is already ahead of me. But hey, man, grateful to be here. I am a firm believer in hard-ass physical and mental challenges. I think there's no better way, maybe besides a few meditation techniques, than extremely excruciating physical challenges as a form of hardening up your mental game and true self-discovery. So excited to dive in here and grateful to have Tommy behind the camera. So let's go catch up to the squad.
Luckily, I was able to catch up to my friends who had started about 3 minutes ahead of me, and I felt now more than ever that I was truly with my tribe. 2 guys who were far too large to be considered runners, but who have exhibited some of the toughest mindsets I've ever seen. Nick, Simi, and I became friends because, honestly, there's not many other options when you're in the campus gym at 2 a.m. So, for some reason, our schedules aligned and we found ourselves throwing around weights and working super hard in the middle of the night with no one else around. So naturally, we spotted each other for bench press a couple times. We then both went and walked on to one of the toughest Division I football programs in the country, the Ohio State Buckeyes. We came straight off the streets and earned a spot on the team, ultimately becoming Big Ten champions and Cotton Bowl champions our senior year. And not only that, but Nick was also one of the fastest rising walk-ons in the program, went on to pick up long snapping, and nearly got signed by the Cleveland Browns after college. This is a guy that I've gone through extremely hard times with. He's one of the only people I can trust to have my back with anything, especially a challenge like running 100 miles. He's 230 pounds and built for strength. Definitely not endurance, but trust me, that won't stop him. He is an underdog. Derek Ezel is a one of a kind. He's your typical blue-collar badass. He grew up being friends with my older brother and hit the road after high school to work on the pipeline. He's the kind of guy who can slam back 8 beers, sleep for 3 hours, and then wake up to meet you for a 7-mile run after never having run more than 2 miles in his entire life. Yes, he actually did that 2 months ago. He's an embodiment of the type of person who will pick a ridiculous goal, bite off way more than he can chew, and then go prove everyone wrong and accomplish it just because. He doesn't need a medal, he doesn't need encouragement or approval from others. He simply wants to get the job done. He's also one of the least flexible human beings on planet Earth, but he doesn't need to touch his toes in order to accomplish his goals because he is an underdog. Now that is a very brief backstory, but if it's any testament to these 2 men, we signed up with 9 total other runners in our group that we knew, and only these 2 showed up on game day to actually face the challenge. These 2 guys have made me a better human being, and I can't wait to see how far we can push out there. Let's just hope we don't go way off course or something.
Yeah, we went off course quite a bit, ran several miles off course, so trying to catch back up, get our pace back on, and finish this baby out. Let's go. All right, fellas. And ladies, we are, how many miles in, Derek?
About 16.
We are about 16 miles in, and gosh, I gotta say,
A little surprised.
it's surprisingly difficult, I'm not gonna lie. So Derek and I have done several 16-mile runs before in preparation for this. There's definitely something different about this one. We definitely went off the trail, so that was unfortunate. We ran probably an extra, I think, what was it, like a mile or 2?
Yeah.
It was dark, we missed some turns, and there was a lot of people with us, believe it or not. So we had to go a little off, so we were definitely slightly behind pace, but we've been making up time by riding the highs and trying to run downhill as fast as we can. So overall, though, we're doing all right.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty.
We definitely need this little check-in right here, though, for sure.
Yeah. Feeling good.
Someone start a timer for
water
15
about a mile and a half
Okay.
to go. So definitely feeling it. Definitely need plenty of fluids. You need something solid. Lean forward. Put it on your neck.
Oh, thank you very much.
Oh,
That feels amazing.
definitely needed that.
Feeling good. Legs and body feel great. I just think, the most important thing now is just hitting each of the aid stations. We've been able to go to the bathroom and we haven't had any stomach issues. No one's been getting sick. I think right now is huge to get some actual whole foods in us. We've been using like the stingers, we've been using gels, a lot of the liquid nutrition, but to get actually something solid in us and get some calories in, because we're about 5 hours in. I think our next stop is at 33 miles, so we got 12 miles after this.
The best part about these long endurance events is that if you have a problem in life or something you've really been needing to solve internally, there's really no better way to get an answer than to go out in nature and be running for hours on end. And if you don't find the answers you're looking for, well, don't worry, because the problem will no longer seem significant when you're trying to survive in the heat of the day after already having run for over 8 to 12 hours. There are moments that seem hopeless. When you're only 30 miles in and you're more tired than you've ever been in your life, it's hard to imagine running 70 more miles. The good news is I had 2 of my friends with me and we did a really good job of keeping things funny. Laughter is always the best game plan.
Oh, let's get it.
And lucky for us, we kept the other people laughing on the trail as well. Derek even acquired a new nickname out there as the Tumbler after taking some epic spills down the trails for everyone to admire.
All my walls are covered in words, and while you sleep, I mark my goals. Stand tall, think clear. Don't let them see a hint of fear. Lines and dots, zoom in, zoom out.
Mile, like,
is I get these
I
off.
was probably struggling the most leading into the last aid station. And then shortly after that, I went through a pretty rough point. I was super dehydrated, had a bad headache. And then
Here's this one.
somehow pulled through. Felt a lot better for mile like 35 on to 50. So feeling pretty good now. I think we got this.
Feet are whooped.
So I got a washcloth.
But calves feel better. Don't really have too much muscle soreness, thank you. Other than that, not too bad.
I feel great.
We would be so
Super happy of the accomplishment.
Yeah.
Been looking forward to this for the last 49 miles.
Nice.
And yeah, we're gonna savor this. So we'll be here for about 25 minutes. And then back half. Feel good though.
50 miles is a big accomplishment. We had already almost doubled our previous longest run. Things seemed upbeat and positive leaving that 50-mile aid station. I thought about the many reasons why this race was so special. Running it with 2 of my best friends and pushing ourselves beyond all of our perceived limitations. Running it in Ohio, where I was born and raised. And it being my first 100-miler, and all 3 of us only knowing about it 1 month in advance.
I've had tons of ups and downs. Definitely harder even than I expected. But be hard when it gets hard, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, fellas? That's it.
It wasn't until we made it to mile 51 that I realized we only slept for about an hour and a half the night before this race. And it's turning to night again shortly. No sooner did that thought cross my mind before I turned to see the Tumbler back at it again, wobbling off course. The sun hadn't even gone down yet, and Derek and I were already needing to slam back shots of iced coffee at the next aid station. I had heard some rumors about the nighttime portions of these races. They were true. The 3 of us started hallucinating almost immediately in the dark. Plenty of interesting, imaginary, furry creatures were running across the trail and keeping us company. With a long night ahead, we found our groove, and luckily, when one of us was at our low point, the other would be at their high point. So we continued to cycle through, leading and pulling each other along.
Man, I rode a pretty good high there for a little bit.
Okay.
I never went to a bad place until we left the 50 mile. After we left, man, I couldn't like stay awake. I was like falling asleep while I was walking, just like dragging.
Bond can get really tired.
Poured some
Like
cold water
sleepy,
in my
like
face,
wobbly, and then
3 shots of coffee,
hate
and
safety or
a
something, I'll
pretty
feel good
gnarly Mountain Dew combination, and I was up and at 'em.
Yeah, babe.
Trying to figure out the math. We got like 33 miles left, and the app is telling us we have a 29-hour finish time, which is kind of close. So I'm trying to figure out if that's actually true or not. So I'm trying to do the math in my head, but it is not working. So hopefully we got this. But we're hitting the wall right now for sure. So I think we're gonna try to conserve a little bit of energy. We are not feeling too hot right now, so probably gonna try to conserve energy, like just cover as much distance as we can, as fast as we can, whether it's a fast walk or a slight run or whatever it is. And then when we get within striking distance of like 85, 90 miles, then we'll actually just push it and try to, finish it off. Whew, that's the game plan.
"70 miles in, 30 to go. Our bodies were a mess. Our pace was slowly dwindling, the injuries unable to be ignored anymore, and the mistakes and off-trail time early in the race were catching up to us fast. There are moments throughout life that make you question what the point is. Why go through all the pain? Is there really something worthwhile at the finish line, or is the enjoyment to be had right here and now? I was going through several of the lowest lows in my entire life, just to be shocked that a few miles later, I was riding one of the highest highs. I started to realize that when you're in those low and high points, there is a story you are telling yourself. A story about who you are, what you are experiencing, why it matters, and what to do about it. That story is built from the compounding effect of a countless number of thoughts and decisions you made throughout your life, many of which you probably don't even remember, and many that probably seemed insignificant. Today, all of those little decisions come full circle, and they matter. Every one of those small decisions to bounce back from hardship, to not cut corners at work, to run past the tree when you said you were going to give just a little bit more effort than you thought you had. Those small, seemingly insignificant decisions have slowly built the story of who you believe yourself to be. And today, when you're in that low point, and 40 more miles on a bum ankle doesn't even seem feasible, you'll fall back to that story.
So we're gonna be able to catch up a little bit of time. We're out of the woods for a little bit, so we're gonna try to catch up. Hopefully knock down our time to about a 29:30. We've, constantly been saying we just want to be in striking distance. So that's kind of what we're doing. 15 miles within striking distance. We're gonna finish it strong.
With the fruit?
I'll do it.
Hey Mark, did you ever figure anything out about my phone?
Yeah, it's good. Well, we gotta hop up. Let's go, guys. Let's go.
Okay. You get your bag refilled, bud?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
You're all right.
Take this.
I'll pick it up. We're not gonna be able. We can't be up. We gotta go.
Go. Come on.
Okay. I'm not gonna be.
I knew.
Yeah, let's go.
The story that you are the type of person to follow through on your word no matter what obstacles are put in front of you. The story that you are capable of more than you ever thought possible. The story that no matter how many times you have failed in life, you remain undefeated. The story of you. This is what will bring you back to life when all else seems to fail. Today, this is my story. I am greater than whatever challenge has been put in front of me. 187,500 steps, one at a time. I am an underdog.
There we go. All right, it's official. 100.2 miles. Probably a little more than that. Like I said, my phone died, but I have the proof for you guys on Strava. Feels amazing. Big accomplishment. Something honestly I've had as a goal, but I didn't think I would do until I was like 35 or 40, when I had nothing else in my life to do but run. But man, Derek and Nick and I just decided to set some massive goals this year and try to accomplish them in like a month or less, or 2 months. So in this case, it took us basically 2 months to accomplish this goal. So excited to see what the future holds. Maybe an Ironman.
If there's one thing that's been confirmed through all of this, it's that life almost certainly never goes as planned. And honestly, if it did, what would be the fun in that? We live for the unknown, the unexpected. We battled so many challenges throughout our 100 miles, running off course, missing cutoff times, injuries, lack of preparation, lack of sleep before starting, and utterly having no clue what we were doing. But the one consistent component I've gathered between seeing all of these ultra endurance events boils down to one word: suffering. And from watching throughout all of this suffering, the one thing I keep noticing is that instead of the pain breaking people down, it is actually bringing out the best in them. It's taking them to places they couldn't go otherwise and proving to them just how powerful their own resilience is. I've never felt such a strong sense of encouragement and community than I have out on those trails. From all the people who stop to give you help when you're struggling, to the aid stations and the race crews, all the way down to the friendly encouragement from passerbys on the road. It's truly uplifting. I want to make sure that everyone knows just how fortunate Nick, Derek, and I are. We would have never been able to even attempt something like this if it wasn't for several other people. With that said, I want to take a second to thank a few people. Number one, my mom, for always being my number one supporter and sticking by my side no matter if I'm up or if I'm down. She deserves the world for all she's given to me and is truly the most selfless person that I know. Number two, I want to thank Nick's parents for helping us the whole way and making sure we had a place to stay and all the food and support that we needed throughout. Number three, I want to thank our amazing videographer Tommy for making our lives so much easier and for helping us throughout the whole race, waking up in the morning and just bringing this entire video to life. And lastly, number four, I want to thank the legend Sam Hartman, aka REI Guy. We met Sam at REI, the outdoors store, the day before the race, and not only did he help us pick out all of the gear that we needed, but he's actually an ultramarathon runner himself, and he showed up for us at our aid stations in the middle of the night and provided additional encouragement and advice. Truly can't thank these people enough. If it weren't for people like this in our lives, by design or by chance, we wouldn't be able to push ourselves or our boundaries the way we envisioned.
All right, guys, we are officially done. I am beyond exhausted. My body is a complete mess right now, but I'm just so happy to be friends and, you know, brothers with Derek and Nick, two of the most savage human beings on planet Earth, and just the amount of mental toughness they have is just honestly insane. So I couldn't think of two better people to do it with, and although it didn't go in our favor, we accomplished some insane mental feats. Like I can't even begin to describe some of the lows we were in, and obviously some of the highs that we had throughout as well. But gosh, it's inspiring just to be around them. So super happy that those are my friends and that's my friend group, and looking forward to see what we're gonna do next now.
So to quickly recap the race, we did end up missing the official cutoff time for the Burning River 100 due to us running off trail several times. However, we like to finish what we start, so I made sure that I ran 100.2 miles to have it tracked on Strava for you guys and make sure that we accomplish the goal that we set out for. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting us on this journey. Go take back the pen and start crafting the story of you.